For me, happiness is very related to what I've done, because when I was growing the idea of this project, basically, little by little, the idea of happiness was an idea of saying we have to invent our future, we have to roll up our sleeves and have a project for our future, being in a strategy to think our future. And so, with the idea of identifying happiness with the idea of doing something for yourself, something for your children, something for the community you're working with. So that's the idea of happiness, the idea that you are part of a project to see your future. Happiness in the city is, for me, more and more the idea of the community. I mean, to have a life, to have a mix of the life you try to create, which is a nice life. So more and more during the project, I've seen that being in the middle of the beautiful nature of the Venice Lagoon or being outside Milano is the same happiness, potential happiness in the moment that you have a community which has a nice energy because of how you are able to help the life to happen in an interesting way. We start to speak about multidisciplinarity. I mean, in the sense that it's a problem of condivision of the problems. It's how you are able to listen and you're able to act in consequence of the condivision and the listening that you have on all the actors that they have to be involved in the story. I mean, it's a problem of how you prepare a story to happen, possibly as a starting, and then you can adjust during the time, but that you give that the project is involving different actors, and you have to create the base and the grid on which everybody has his own role to accomplish, to be the active part of the project. What we are missing today is the articulation many times of the strategy, because either there is the architect himself, who is doing one object and is in love with this object, or there is the planner that is bringing from up the idea of the plan, or there is the real estate that there is just thinking how to make money, how to make volumes, and forgetting all the way in which life is happening. Or there is, the different parts. They are not. At least those parts, they have to be together and they have to sit down. On top of that, you have the people who is living there. We know the disaster of the past. You have to understand. You have to find smart people that are able to visualize how many activities, what's the economical sustainability of all the activities that are going to happen in that place. I mean, that you give something that a part of the city becomes a lively place. If you do nothing, you just can fall in depression, I mean. So the problem is to understand how you can, and politics should be the part very active on this, but it's totally absent. Other actors are absent. So again, happiness, I mean, we have ourselves, I mean, myself, and when I go to the dinner of the classroom of my son and the other parents, you can be together and do a lot. But I think that is always the only way that you have to give a meaning to your future. I see the role of culture as an active role in improving the conditions. Because when I say creativity, also my project, right or wrong, but it's not that somebody asked me to do those projects. I was looking for the fact that there is this factory that is making this new headquarters with 1,000 people, and they have 300 people, young guys working for them from all around the world, and so you think of a place. I mean, creativity in these processes for me, they are part of the project. I see then creativity and we say to put together culture. Culture is how you give to the story an intensity, an enrichment, which is given by the but a very articulated participation of actors. We are actors which are part of the culture. Anyway, this is already a culture of the project, in the sense that you are not taking anything for granted. You are working on how you can improve and make the story much, much better. I think that is the acknowledgement that you create with these processes, for me, is culture. So I consider all this a cultural process anyway, because you are proactive, you are creating, you are moving forward, you are trying to find solutions. When you work on putting together, I don't know, students and extra communitarian workers in an interesting situation, all this becomes something which is beyond it becomes a virtuoso situation. So I think very much that the living to live in a project is always part of a cultural process in a way, because we are creating our future in a way. And in that moment, I feel active in that way. It's always a challenge to show that there are different alternative ways. So in terms of politician of the city and administration, whatever, you have to show that it's possible, because there is always a way you can find. Because also in the region here, there is the league, there is a lot of apparent racism, real and sometimes not so real racism. But you know, if you see somebody, some industrialist saying, "Ah no, maybe he's a little racist," they say, "Ah no, but the guy working for me is a very good one." You know, there are always ways in which the story can be different. I mean, you have to help the story to use strategies that allow the story happening in a different way. I mean, I think.